Maxwell Chikumbutso may not yet be a globally recognized name, but his story is a remarkable testament to innovation emerging from the most unexpected environments. Born and raised in Zimbabwe, country not typically associated with high-tech innovation, Maxwell's journey began in the humblest of settings. He didn't have access to elite engineering schools or multi-million-dollar research labs. Instead, he was fueled by sheer determination and insatiable curiosity, and an unwavering belief in the transformative potential of clean energy. From an early age, Maxwell was fascinated by how the world worked, not just the visible mechanics, but the hidden forces and energies that powered everything around him. He was particularly drawn to the idea of creating solutions that could alleviate some of the most pressing challenges faced by developing countries, particularly those struggling with limited access to electricity. This passion led him to experiment relentlessly with various forms of alternative energy. In a modest workshop equipped with little more than salvaged parts and rudimentary tools, he began building early prototypes of machines that could harness energy from ambient sources. Over the years, his work matured and his focus sharpened toward a singular vision, creating a completely self-sustaining power system that could be used to power a car, one that wouldn't need fuel, wouldn't need charging, and would function entirely independently. This wasn't about competing with existing electric vehicles. It was about rendering their limitations obsolete. The breakthrough came when Maxwell successfully engineered a vehicle capable of running indefinitely using its own internal energy generation system, a true self-powered car. Unlike electric vehicles that still rely on the power grid, which in many parts of the world is generated by coal or gas. Maxwell's car eliminates the need for any external energy input. At first glance, the car resembles any other modern electric vehicle, aerodynamic lines, futuristic dashboard, and a quiet motor. but beneath its surface lies an innovation that defies our current understanding of automotive engineering. Most electric vehicles operate on lithium battery systems that need frequent recharging and are deeply tied to the limitations of existing energy infrastructures. In contrast, Maxwell's self-powered car runs on a proprietary system based on what is known in scientific circles as Overunity technology. Overunity, a term that often stirs controversy, refers to systems that produce more energy than they consume, while mainstream physics tends to dismiss such concepts as violating the laws of thermodynamics. Maxwell's invention presents a compelling case that these boundaries may not be as immutable as once believed. The core of the vehicle is an energy generation unit that captures and recycles energy through multiple means. This includes kinetic energy from the car's own motion, energy from environmental sources, and regenerative systems that convert what would usually be wasted, like heat and friction, back into usable power. Through this dynamic and continuous cycle of energy, capture, conversion, and reuse, the car sustains itself, effectively removing the need for fuel or recharging. What makes it even more remarkable is that the energy surplus is not only enough to drive the vehicle, but also allows additional applications, like powering external devices, or even feeding energy back into a home or grid. In essence, the car becomes a moving power station. The implications of this are staggering. Not only would such a vehicle eliminate the need for gasoline or electricity derived from the grid, but it would also sidestep the environmental costs associated with battery production, lithium mining, and electricity generation. With climate change becoming an existential threat, a vehicle that could provide infinite mobility with zero emissions is a potential game changer. The reduction in CO2 emissions, the alleviation of pressure on power grids, and the ability to offer sustainable transport to remote and underserved regions all combined to form a vision of a radically different and better future. When news began to circulate that Maxwell's self-powered car was finally ready for public testing, interest from both the automotive industry and the tech world spiked, but the excitement reached a fever pitch when it was announced that Elon Musk, the man behind Tesla, SpaceX, and Neuralink, would be participating in a test drive of the vehicle. Elon, a tireless promoter of clean energy and sustainable transport, has helped redefine what's possible in electric mobility. His cars have gone from niche luxury items to mainstream vehicles around the world, proving that green transportation can also be high-performance and aspirational. His decision to participate in the test drive wasn't just a public relations stunt, it was a signal that he recognized the significance of what Maxwell had built. As Elon Musk arrived at Maxwell's lab in Zimbabwe, a wave of anticipation swept through the assembled crowd of journalists, engineers, and industry insiders. The meeting between the two men was respectful and full of mutual admiration. Maxwell walked Elon through the technology, explaining the concepts behind his energy system and how he had come to develop such an unconventional approach. Elon, known for his sharp technical mind, was visibly intrigued. Despite his deep knowledge of electric vehicles, what Maxwell presented was something fundamentally new, a system that bypassed the very infrastructure Elon's own cars rely on. Then came the moment everyone was waiting for, the test drive. With cameras rolling and global attention focused on the event, Maxwell and Elon climbed into the self-powered car. Sleek, minimalist, efficient, the vehicle hummed quietly to life. As Elon took the wheel and accelerated smoothly down the road, the experience was one of quiet amazement. The usual hum of a combustion engine was absent, and even the low electric buzz typical of EVs was noticeably muted. Instead, there was a clean silence. The car gliding forward effortlessly as they drove through the streets. Elon tested the car's torque, maneuverability, and regenerative braking system. He asked detailed questions, and Maxwell answered with the confidence of someone who had spent years perfecting every element. The car's performance was more than just acceptable, it was exceptional. Elon praised the responsiveness, the stability, and the seamless way in which the energy system recycled motion and environmental inputs to maintain the car's power levels. He was especially interested in the system's modular design, which could theoretically be applied beyond transportation to homes, businesses, or even space missions, where self-sustaining energy systems are vital. By the end of the drive, it was clear that this was more than a successful test. It was the beginning of a potentially transformative chapter in global transportation. Elon Musk, a man not easily impressed, left the experience visibly energized, discussing possible ways to collaborate and scale the technology. For Maxwell, the validation from one of the world's most respected innovators marked a moment of long-awaited recognition. But the implications stretch far beyond this meeting of minds. If Maxwell's self-powered car can be mass-produced and refined, it could render both fossil fuel and conventional electric vehicles obsolete. Entire industries built around fuel supply chains, electric grids, recycling could be appended, and in developing nations, where reliable energy access remains a massive hurdle, this car could serve as a literal vehicle for progress, enabling mobility, economic participation, and energy independence. This invention doesn't just challenge the automotive status quo, it forces us to rethink our energy systems, our infrastructures, and our assumptions about what's possible. It invites investors, researchers, and policymakers to embrace bold thinking and support disruptive innovation. For Maxwell Chikumbutso, the road ahead will undoubtedly be filled with challenges, from securing patents and regulatory approvals to scaling production and protecting intellectual property. But with global support, partnerships, and continued innovation, this self-powered car could soon become not just a symbol of hope, but a cornerstone of a cleaner, more sustainable world. As we look toward the future, it's clear that the solutions we need won't come from tweaking the old models. They'll come from radical reimaginings of what's possible. Maxwell's self-powered car is one such reimagining. It's a beacon for what can happen when brilliant minds defy conventional limits and dare to innovate. And with pioneers like Maxwell Chikumbutso and Elon Musk at the helm, the future of transportation and perhaps even energy itself is finally beginning to take shape. In a rapidly changing world where innovation often emerges from the most unlikely corners, there occasionally arises a breakthrough so profound that it shifts not only an industry but the very way we perceive what is possible. Such is the case with a revolutionary vehicle that defies everything we've come to accept. Transportation. Imagine, for a moment, a car that doesn't rely on fossil fuels, doesn't need to be plugged into an electric outlet, and never demands a stop. At a charging station, Instead, it draws power from itself, an energy loop that allows it to run perpetually without external input. It sounds like a concept pulled straight from a futuristic science fiction novel. Yet, remarkably, this vision is becoming reality through the mind of Maxwell Chikumbutso. His invention, a self-powered car, not only challenges the existing paradigms of transportation, but also introduces a technology so